Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 1 Hour with UCIEL. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff today, but first, I want to start by thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for um, just listening to me, whether it's live, whether it's encore. Um, your time is valuable to me, so I want to thank you. I want to thank you for just tuning in. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. This what's going on around the world, things that people don't talk about, things that people might ignore, things people might not necessarily ignore, but don't don't want to talk about it for whatever reasons, but things that need to be talked about. But I'm gonna start with s- uh saying that our first church in the park was a success. We fed 24 to 26 people. um we fed them, we clothed them, so we are happy with the result. We are happy um with the outcome. We are happy. Two people got saved. It was just good. I mean, if you haven't had a chance to tune in, you could watch us live, you could watch us encore, you could watch the video, you could be part of it. You could watch us live on the same day. You could watch what happened. You could come and volunteer. We do need volunteers. We need stuff. you know um we're gonna be doing it every end of the month. For now it's gonna be every month, every end of the month. It's gonna be church in the park. um every month, at the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month at noon, we're gonna have church in the park with some continental breakfast. And um we're not gonna have a leave closet all the time because we do need volunteers for that. But we're gonna have essentials and some breakfast. So we invite you to come and be part of it. Whether you want to donate, um whether you just want to volunteer, we need people. We need people to do God's work. It's not necessarily for us. It's not for us. It's God's work. It's a way of returning back for what God has done for you, to return back to the community, to return back to His people. It's not necessarily, oh, I don't feel like helping. They're addicts, they're homeless because they want to be homeless. It's not about judging them. It's not about that. We know that. God knows that. It's not about that. It's about doing for others. It's about um sparing a moment of your life, an hour or two of your life, to help others without judging. We spend so much time on other stuff that is not beneficial. We spend time more on social media, or just watching stuff that we shouldn't be watching and stuff. Why not come and help God's people? Why not come and help others that might need it? you know um like I said, come donate. You could bring the stuff as well, or you could mail it to us. Um, but come and help. Um, Also, I believe next Monday kids go back to school. And remember, kids, because they go back to school next Monday. So I know there's still some places that are still giving out they're still giving out supplies and all that stuff. I think there's still people that are giving out supplies, so we have those. We have that. Let me see. We have it on our website. We have this the places, the sites, the times, and the dates where they're gonna give out supplies. And let me tell you something. I know sometimes people don't like the backpacks that they're giving, but you have to be grateful for what we get. There's a lot of school supplies in there. There's a lot of good things that your kids could use so back to school. Um, remember, just remember, guys, to I'm not trying to teach you how to be a parent, but remember to teach our kids to be respectful for our grown-ups, respect for our teachers, respect for each and other. Um, Teach them to keep their hands to themselves. Teach them to have manners. All that's important. I was watching a video of three little boys that were ages of 9 or 10. That they went in and robbed a Walgreens. They went in and robbed a Walgreens, and they were trying to steal all kinds of snacks and all that stuff. And The cashier, apparently she locked the door so they wouldn't leave. And these kids are young kids. They're all under 13 years old. There are three of them. They're young kids, and and so as the cashier's telling them, she locked the door. Those kids are saying, you would open the door and this and that. I'm gonna call my mama and let her know what you're doing to us. And they remember they're stealing. That's the word. And a lot of you might get offended. Well, they're kids. I don't care. They're stealing. They're thieves. They're thieves because they know what they're doing. And they're telling the cashier's like, no, she's gonna call the cops and whatnot. And um, the kids are one of the kids is cursing her out. They're all saying bad words, but one of them is cursing her out, calling the cashier all kinds of bad words and all kinds of names and all kinds of stuff. And you know, and the cashier's just like, she's not, she's not reacting to it. They try to provoke her, but she's not reacting to it. And that kid's going off with all this foul mouth, like he's dropping the F bomb. And I mean, these are kids. Um, and long story short, next day the mom comes out and says that she didn't know that they were going to do this. She didn't know that they were going to the kids were going to go in and steal. She said she didn't know. She did not send them. She didn't know nothing. But okay, sometimes it could be true. Sometimes parents don't know what the kids are doing behind their back. Parents don't know how kids act in the street because could act at home one way, and then go act out in the street. But one thing for sure, I was thinking as I'm hearing the little boy say all these kinds of bad words to the cashier, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, the mom said that she didn't know they were out there, but what about his mouth? His mouth is, where is he learning all these bad words from? Where is this kid learning all that? He had to say it one time in front of you. He had to say it. He had to repeat something in front of you. I don't believe that the kid just the first time that he's cursing. The moment that that little boy curses, the moment you needed to correct them. So they're saying, some people defending the parents are like, they didn't know this and that. But at 9, 10, 11, and I mean, a ma'am, I mean, where are your kids? How come? I believe me, you at 9, 10, 11, I knew where my kids were at all times. And they were at school, I knew where they were at all times. There was not like, oh, I'll be back, mom. Like, "Oh, I'll be back, mom. I'm just gonna go here to the store." No, not at 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry, no, you're not. If you're not out there outside playing where I could see you, you shouldn't be out there in the streets. That's crazy. So everyone's getting mad. Oh, it's not the parents' fault. It is. I'm sorry. It is. It is the parents' fault. At that age, it is. It is the parents' fault. It is. So next day those kids are going on TV. They're making a video saying that, oh, it's not my mom's fault. She didn't know we were gonna do this and that. And okay, she didn't know, but she didn't question where you guys were at. Where did you learn all those bad words? And no, I'm not saying your mom taught you. I'm sure your mom didn't teach you, but she must have heard it sometime in your life. She must have heard you say something and she didn't correct you. And she didn't correct you. She must have seen you one time steal something and she didn't correct you. Because kids are curious, and sometimes kids take stuff, and that doesn't make them a criminal. It doesn't make them a criminal because sometimes they're kids. Sometimes they just grab stuff thinking they could do that. But it's our job to correct them. It's our job to tell them, no, you cannot take this. You need to pay for it. You don't have money right now. You need to put it back. Um, in the minute that they speak back to a grown up or to say bad words, you need to correct them. It doesn't matter how upset a grown up gets them. You know, I remember when I was younger that if I got into with someone and if I try to get loud, my dad was like, "Turn your voice down." That is a grown person. You don't talk to them like that, but no, but nothing. That is a grown person. You respect them. You respect them. Even though if that grown up was wrong, my dad never told me, "Oh yeah, I'm a believer. I'm gonna, take the beating." No, he just told me, "Okay, I know what you're saying. I believe you, but tone your voice down." And as mad as I was, I'm like, "Well, she's wrong, and I'm the one that has to calm down." He was trying to teach me something. He was trying to teach me respect. He was teaching me respect. You know, um, That doesn't mean that your kid is wrong. That doesn't mean anything like that. It just means respect. We need to respect it, because that's what happens when you're not there. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get loud. They're gonna get crazy like that with strangers. And this world is so crazy. You don't know who they came across. See, this time these kids that went and steal at that Walgreens, they were at the Walgreens. But what if they would have been in the streets? What if that person that would steal from would have a gun and shot him? Then the whole society will be all over that person because they're children. You hurt them. But ma'am, you created a criminal, because those kids at that age, 9, 10, 11, talking the way they were talking, they're already criminals. They are already criminals because you should see the way they were talking. They're like grown-ups. They were saying bad words to that lady like grown-ups. And then it doesn't matter how much videos they make them. My mom didn't make us do that. And they said that. And then the sad thing about it, they came out and said that they stole just for the fun of it, that they got money. We don't need nothing. We have money. We could buy whatever we want. We just did it for the fun of it. Which I don't believe it, but still, the fact that they're coming out and saying that, like the mom allows them to say that, that's crazy to me. Instead of apologizing, they didn't apologize to. I want to apologize to the Walgreens or the pharmacy that we stole from. I want to apologize for my son talking the way he talked. I did not ever going to do this, etc. Whatever word you want to use. But no, they came out and defended their mom, that them, because the media's all over their mom, and defended that the fact that they need to, that they just did it for fun. Those are the wrong priorities of why they're excusing themselves. Those are the wrong things, the reasons why they came out and saying all this stuff. At first, I think the mom made them do that. I think the mom told them, "You need to go out there because they're shooting me up." They're saying that I'm the reason why you guys stole and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. Teach your kids when they go back to school. Teach your kids. I was me and my coworkers watching the video, and then one of the coworkers said, "What's so scary that those kids go to elementary school." And like, if my son went to the same school as those kids, I'll be afraid. I'll be afraid of my son going to the same school that those little criminals are going. And I looked at them and I didn't realize, I'm like, they are criminals. They are. She goes, it doesn't matter what age. They're already criminals. Not about they're going to become criminals. They already are. So that's why I'm saying, guys, you need to love your kids enough to teach them right from wrong, wrong from right. Don't get over religious and scared, and everything's a sin. No, talk to them, explain to them, teach them, teach them with truth, teach them that that's what's wrong, what's right. Teach them. Don't just like all be all oversaved and all scared, and no, don't do that. Teach them. Kids kids need to learn. We have to have boundaries, we have to have rules, we have to have schedules, we have to have times, we have to have yes and no's. Teach them, not by screaming at them and beating them up. That's not the way they're going to learn. If anything, they're going to rebel against you. But by talking to them, and if you could set an example of, like, I did this before and I did this, or son is wrong, this is why. Always let the children know why it's wrong. Let them know. Don't let them get away from, that's for every kid, you know. Um, that is also for special need kids. Some people think because when kids are special needs, that they should get away with everything because they're special needs, or you can tell them no because they're special needs, or you can let them. That's okay if they hurt others. It's okay if they walk up to someone and yell at their face, or it's okay to it's okay to let my special needs go and eat their food, no, it's not, ma'am. No, it's not okay. And you saying that he's special needs, that's why he does that all the time, and there's nothing you can do. There's a lot you could do. You could teach him. See, these especially kids that are autistic are extremely smart, extremely smart. you know I babysit a kid that was autistic, and I have a niece that has autism, and I taught my niece. And there's certain things that my niece don't do, and people get amazed. They're like, "Oh, your niece doesn't do that?" No, she doesn't. We don't let her get away with that. We don't let her get away because she's in special needs. We treat her like a regular human. Of course, with certain limits. There's things that she cannot do, obviously, because she has a limit herself. But you could teach her. You could teach them. If you teach them when they're little, they're gonna when they grow up, they're gonna know. There's too many kids that are older, and they have autism, and they get very violent, and all you hear is moms complaining about how violent these kids are, how they're out of control. And yes, I know it has to do with autism. I know, but you could also teach them. You could also teach them, put some rules, put some. You don't feel bad for them. That's the worst thing you could do is feel bad for a kid with special needs. You feeling bad and let them get away with everything they want to do because they're special needs. It's bad for them. My niece is extremely smart. She knows what she's doing. Extremely smart. She knows. She knows what she's doing. But if we don't try it, if we don't put boundaries and we don't set rules and times and schedules and stuff like that, she's going to do whatever she wants. For example, she knows that she has to eat. When she has to eat dinner, she has to eat, and then we give her something to drink. She knows that. She knows that. See, I know a lot of parents, oh, if I don't give her nothing to drink, she won't eat. No, no. Teach them. And she repeats herself. She's eating and she's like, "No juice, first eat." She repeats it. She's eating and she's repeating it. It's crazy to me. She's repeating it and she tell me, "No juice, first eat." I'm like, "Yes, that's right. Eat and then eat a little bit and I'll give you something to drink." And she knows. And she knows she's eating, and then when I see her eating and I give her something to drink, I said, "See, now you have your drink." And she says, "I eat first." I'm like, "That's right," because she knows. It didn't matter when she cried and did her scene. It didn't matter. No, it's no. I remember when she was little, when she was like 4 years old, she used to come and poke us. She used to come and hit us. She used to poke us hard because these kids have a strength on them. She used to come and poke my mom in the belly. She used to come poke us in the belly hard, and it hurt. It hurt my mom. My mom would be like, "Ow, it hurt," because she used to poke all the way in. Like she used to poke her belly, her back. So I started poking her. Every time she pokes someone, I go and poke her. Of course, I'm not gonna use the same strength she did, and I'm not gonna hurt her, but enough to bother her. And she'll be like, "Oh no, I don't like," and I'm like, "Well, they don't like it either." And she used to be like, she still used to do it and used to look at me and did it, and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna yell at her, and I'm not gonna scream at her. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just gonna do what she's doing." And I used to do it back to her until she got tired, and she's like, "No more poking," and I'm like, "That's right." So herself, she used to repeat and say, "No more, no more hurt," and I'm like, "That's right, no more hurt." And then she used to be like, "No, no, no more hurt," and she stopped doing it. She stopped doing it her own. And people were like, "You're so mean, you poking her back." I said, "No, I'm trying to teach her that it hurts, that it's not cute, because when she goes out to school, she can't get away with certain things because she shouldn't be hurting people. She needs to learn." So I started poking her. She like, "Oh no, that hurts," and it didn't hurt her. She didn't like it that I was doing it to her. So she stopped. She stopped doing it. She stopped completely. Stopped. And she repeated herself. "No poking. It hurts." Yeah. She's a, there's a lot of things we couldn't control. Of course, there's a lot of things because there's special needs depending on on their needs. There's certain things that they can't do, and I totally agree with that, and because I have studied that. But let's not give up on them. They're not less of a human. They're smart. They're not, you know, they're not gonna not do stuff. She has cerebral palsy as well. She has cerebral palsy, and guess what? We make her carry groceries. We make her carry. I don't care if it's 2 bags. Come on, hurry up, carry these bags. And she knows. Help me, help. She tells me. She goes, "Me help. You need help." She tells me that. "You need help." I'm like, "Yes, I do need help." And she carries 2 bags. If I said, "No, you have cerebral palsy, you can't do nothing. Sit down, poor you." No, then we're making her condition be worse. See, I know a guy that has cerebral palsy. He works at a supermarket. That young man, man, he is. One of the hardest workers I ever know. He puts men that are strong to shame. He has severe cerebral palsy, and he's working out there and he's carrying stuff, pushing carts. And when I tell you he has cerebral palsy severe, he has it. And he's out there working because his mom didn't give him a limit. Because his mom told him he could do whatever he wants. Because someone believed in him. Because no one didn't sit on there and say, "Oh, poor him, he can't do nothing." He's one of the best workers. His manager has said. His manager has said that he's one of her best workers because someone taught him. Because they didn't put limits on him. Because they let him do what he can. And he could do a lot. Like I said, my niece has multiple things. So when people tell me it's because mine is autistic, he does this. Well, my niece is autistic, so a palsy, mental retardation. Where do we start? A- ADHD. Where do we start, ma'am? But we still teach her. You know, she don't go beating people up. For her to get aggressive, something has to dramatic has to happen. You have to something to her for her to get aggressive. But she doesn't just get aggressive because just to get aggressive. She doesn't just do that. She doesn't go up to people and steal their food. Oh, she's autistic. So that's okay. Go eat your food. She doesn't do that. There's times that we're at the doctor's and someone's eating and she'll look and she'll look and not only is she special, but in her mind she thinks she's a kid. She'll look and sometimes they ask me, "Can I give her a cookie?" And I ask her, "You want one?" She goes, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah, please." That's it. But she don't go out there and let me snatch that cookie because I'm special needs. Let me go snatch the cookie from your hand and eat it. She don't do that. I don't let her point at people. When she points at people, I said, "Nah, we don't point at people." I I, I teach her. That's not nice. Okay, that's rude. And she repeats it. That's rude. She says, "That's not nice." She repeats it. And I say, "Huh, that's not nice." You know, we teach her to say hi. So every time she walks in a room, she says hi to people. People are rude. People are rude though because they don't say hi back. Some do. But she knows when she walks in, she greets people. She says hi to everyone. To everyone. If there's 10 people, she'll say it 10 times hi. It's annoying, but I have to be glad that she's polite. I have to be glad that she's being with manners. Because I don't even want to say hi to 10 people. I don't want to say hi to 10 people, but it reminds me that where's our manners. She does stuff like that. You know, she's only got aggressive, I believe, 3 times in her, and she's 27 years old, and she only got aggressive 3 times in her life, and all within reason. All within reason. But I hear all these people that, oh, he beats up his mom. He goes up to people and steal their food, and I don't understand it sometimes. Sometimes, yeah, it is severe. Sometimes it is, but why didn't you stop them when they were little? I remember my niece was like that aggressive, but we started teaching her. As a matter of fact, the doctor said she wouldn't walk. The doctor told us she wouldn't walk. My niece started walking when she was, I believe, 4. Yeah, when she was 4, when she started walking. She started walking when she was 4 years old. And I remember I went to visit and she was 3 and she wasn't walking. And I'm like, why is she ain't walking? Because the doctor said she wouldn't walk. So she used to crawl. And the biggest mistake my mom used to do, she used to like, my niece used to sit there at 3 years old. She used to sit there and she used to be like she wanted a toy. And my mom would run and give it to her. And I seen that happen. So I was talking to my aunts and family, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna bring the toy to her. We're gonna make her come and get the toy. You want it? You come get it. And she would cry. And it didn't happen overnight. It took a while. It took months, almost a year, like 8 months. It took for her to start doing that. So we used to make her walk for it. We used to stand her up and walk her like a baby, and grab her hand and grab the toy, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it because she was so used to my mom running to her. Because my mom was one of those people. My mom was one of those persons that, oh, Poor her, she's special needs, but that's the worst you could do to your child. It's the worst thing you could do to your child is to feel bad for it, for him or her. It's the worst thing you could do. So we used to do that. So I started grabbing a broom and making her hold the broom, and that's how she started walking. And my aunt started doing that. My mom started doing it. Next thing you know, she started walking, and she loved it. She loved it. She used to go get stuff for us because she loved it. It was something new. And the doctor said she would never walk. I mean, right now as a grown up, she walks perfectly slow, but she walks perfect. You know, when I tell her, "Come on, speed it up," she speeds it up. Might not be your speed, but it's her speed, and that's the way she walks. But if we would have banked on what the doctor said, if we would have done what the doctor said, we would have limited herself to that. See, the doctor has a say in and he has all that science, but he doesn't have God, and God has different plans for your child. God has different plans. He had different plans for my niece. He had different plans for Teresa. When they told her she was going to be a vegetable, she was going to be a burden, she was going to be. That's what the doctor said, because that's exactly what he said. He said, because I was there when he said it. You guys should have aborted her. She's going to be a burden. She's going to be useless. She's going to be, she's not going to walk. You're going to have to do everything for her. She's not going to ever going to talk, and here we are like, okay. That little girl was the first one to graduate. From my sister's side, she was the first little girl to graduate. She graduated. She graduated. She had her high school diploma. From her class, she has a special need class. There was only 4 people that graduated. It was her. She was one of them. Because she knew her colors, she knew her letters. Of course, they're not going to compare her to a regular senior, but she knew more than the other kids knew. Because she knew more. She graduated. She throws the trash out. She helps mop. She helps carry the stuff in. Yeah, she's not verbal, but she could make herself understandable. You could understand her. She'll throw a word or two. She'll connect 2 or 3 words together. You can't have a conversation and her answer you completely like the way I'm talking, but she's able to understand. She understands everything you tell her. And she answers you everything. By yes, no, you know, because God had a different plan. Because if you limit yourself to what people tell you, that's how far you're gonna get. But if you turn it around and say, "No, well, I serve a wonderful God that has a different plan for her," and you strongly believe, you see, my mom believed that she was not gonna be a vegetable. My mom believed that. She said, "No." And sometimes I used to feel like I should go back to that doctor and say, "Remember, you said she was gonna be useless. You remember said she wasn't gonna do nothing. Here's her diploma. She graduated, and not only that, not only that, she's walking. She's not a vegetable like you said she was gonna be." But that's because we believed. We believed and we encouraged her. We didn't let her disability be a limit. We didn't let her disability be a poor me, poor her. Don't do that. Poor her. She doesn't know. You could do that and more. You could do that and more. We believe in her. We treat her like any human. We don't like, oh, she can't do that. No, no, she can't. Today, we went to drive through and my mom wanted a certain food, and my mom wanted that food for her, and she says the same for her. She right away said, "No, I don't want that." She said, "I don't want it." And I'm like, "What do you want?" And she told me what she wanted. And my mom looked at me and I said, "Well, she don't want that food. She wants her food." And my mom was shocked that she wanted the same food that her uncle, the Red Blue, wanted. She wanted that food. She knows what Red Blue eats. She wanted the same food that Red Blue eat. And I was like, "Mom, let her choose." And my mom was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. She don't have to have what you have. She's a grown woman. She let her have her food." But when we live in, no, you don't know what you're saying. You're gonna eat what I tell you. No, no. teach your kids. Teach your kids. Don't let them don't let them have a limit. Believe in them. Believe that they could be what they want to be. Believe that they could do more than they people say they can. We're gonna take a small break, and I'll be right back.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars, the satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, hey, man, I'm alive, singing, hey, man, I'm alive. Nobody died, and I'm singing, hey, amen, amen, I'm alive, amen, I never knew there was a love like this before. Never had someone to show me a love like this before. Now that we have come to be a brand new life, I can see. Never thought you'd be a special part of me. No, baby. The reasons are because of you. I can go on and make it through. I can't even take my mark off loving you. And I wanna say, I never knew there was a love like this before. A love like this before, no. Never had someone to show me a love like this before. I know you can see all the things you mean to me. I'm so amazed that you are mine. Yeah, 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 yeah. If we can work together, maybe this can last forever. This is something that I wanna hold on to. So baby, try to understand. I'd be crazy, crazy. I should compliment my style. I like the way you walk and the way you walk, the way you talk. You don't know just what you do to me. Oh, never, I never was no love like this before. A love like this before, no. Never had someone to show me a love. Oh, I never had a love like this before. I never knew there was a love like this before. Never knew, never knew. Never had someone to show me a love. Baby, try to understand. I'd be crazy if you leave. You should compliment my style. You compliment my style. I like the way you walk and the sexy things my battles, throughout my struggles. You found my heart, I ain't being in the jungle. I don't complain for the scars, I know it could have been little suicidal. This and no, you can show me favor like I was on the payroll. Use me as you want, Lord, I'm your vessel. I be feeling down, Lord, I don't want you away from me. I be going through it, Lily, can't go back to this habit. I know I ain't not perfect, but you do, They ain't think that I would've made it. They ain't think that I couldn't get it. They ain't think that I couldn't get through it. But God did it, God did it, God did it. God did it, God did it, God did it. God did it, God did it. He did it, did it. I ain't really counting cause I got the word in my blood. You can't really pull me down, I got the bird in my God. A couple of years ago, I was just a gangster in my block. Now look how me riding with the Holy Ghost in my rock. Trying to do good, they put my name in the dirt. I put my trust in the word, I still learn. Too late to stop me for certain. I've been grinding for you heard me. Had my family desert me. My anointing is to blame me for. I can control how you bless me though. They ain't think that I would've made it. They ain't think that I couldn't get it. They ain't think that I couldn't get through it. But God did it, God did it, God did it. Ooh, God did it, God did it, God did it. Ooh, God did it, God did it, did it. DJ Severe, what's up, my brother? Unity in the gospel, man. That's what we do. We show love, man. This your boy Chosen One Original. Street gospel music. Let's get it.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars and satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, hey, man, I'm alive, singing, hey, man, I'm alive. Nobody died, and I'm singing, amen.
Welcome back, my people. Welcome back. I left off by talking about how we shouldn't feel sorry for our kids when they're special needs, that we should be encouraging them. We should be treating them like normal humans. I know sometimes they have severe autism, and there's certain things that we cannot do. But there's sometimes that they don't have severe autism, but we let them get away like they did because we put limitations to them because the doctor says he will not do this, he will not do that. But if you have faith and if you know you said your kid to be better than that, you could make it, you could do it. I done it, I seen it done. you know uh you just have to believe, you just have to do. Don't let them get an excuse because they have limitations. No, no they don't. you know no they don't. um we have to set rules for whether they're special, whether non-special. We have to let them know that there's certain things in the world that they can't get away with. There's certain things they shouldn't be doing because we live in a society right now that people don't care their kids. you know People don't care, they will hurt them. you know there's a lot of crazy people out there that they're not going to think is cute, that they're not going to think they're children, they're just going to do harm. So we need to love them enough to teach them. We need to love our children enough to teach them. I always have said to you guys that love takes work. Love is work. Love is work. It's not easy, it's work. When you love your children, you take the time to educate them, to teach them, to work for them. Get involved in their school If you have time, get involved. I know life is hard. I know we're busy. We all have to work. But if you have an hour, give your son that hour in school to visit him, to be around, especially if there's special needs. Go volunteer, go see what the teachers are doing with them. We were blessed that all Teresa's teachers were awesome. We were blessed that their her last 4 years her teachers were awesome. We were blessed with that. We were very much very active in her school. We were very active, you know, because the school sometimes, not the teachers, the principal, the higher ups, sometimes they're not righteous. They're not all there. They're not good people. That's just facts. That's facts. And if it bugs you, if you're one of them that's listening and you be bothered, they're the facts. I met so many people that were questionable. I met so many people that were questionable. You know, but when they see that you're active and you're around your kid and you're there with your kid, they think about it twice before messing with them. They do. It's sad, but it's true. They do. So get involved, people. And also the kids, they like to see the parents. And as much as they say they don't, they like to see that their parents get involved. You know, they like to see that you care. So I'm not trying to teach you how to be a parent, because no, I'm just giving you some pointers of what to do. What works. It didn't just work for me. It worked for a lot of people. And if you listen to like parents podcasts and stuff, they say that stuff to get involved. Get involved. I don't like sports. I'm not a sports fan. I'm not a sports, but when my son wanted to do sports, I supported him. I didn't understand nothing what he was telling me, but I was there, you know because it's important to him. So get involved, people. Get you know this world is, it's just, there's a lot of bad things going on. There's wars going on. There's hunger. So take advantage of what the beautiful things that God is doing for you, that has done. The fact that we have freedom, because we still have some type of freedom. We still do. We still do. There's people out there in the world that don't have freedom. That they get killed just to go look for food. They get killed because they believe in Jesus. So we still have that freedom. So let's take advantage of what we have and make the best out of it. But next subject I want to talk about people that own companies, people that have employees. I want to talk to those people. Um, you know what? I never understood about Vegas. You know, because I worked in LA too. So I'm gonna give my opinion. I never understood about Vegas, that Vegas is as backwards. Instead of taking care of their employees, that they're good employees, that been there, loyal and legit, and employees that are there, all the time, that they're good employers. They treat them really bad, but the employees that are bad, they're always calling in sick. The ones that don't show, the ones that you know are always late, they look sloppy. They cater to them. They cater to them.
You gotta be kidding
It's
me.
true. It's true. Like, I don't want to lose this uh, employee. Meanwhile, you have an exceptional employee that you don't care about. Why is it backwards like that? Why instead of you trying to keep your good employee happy by giving them more hours? Obviously, if that lazy employee doesn't want to be in your company, why don't you give your employee that wants to be in your company more hours? Why you keep hiring more lazy people? Why you keep hiring people that are lazy, that they don't want to work? Why do you keep doing that? It happens everywhere. People I know, I'm like, wow. This is who runs your company. This is who runs your company instead of you taking care of your employees. You know, yes, and I'm gonna talk because I have good employees, a good my people that work with me. I try to take care of those. I try to give them more hours. And if you're lazy, I give you less hours. And you're not a priority. You're not my priority. No, no, because you're not making my business a priority.
What?
I'm, but I see it all around. I see it, I'm like, why is Vegas like that? And then they wonder why they don't have employees. you know well, maybe because you're not giving them, the hours that you should be giving them. You give them 2 4 hours, but you give the lazy one all week. I really don't understand that. I don't understand that. That's maybe if you could call and let me know, you know, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know, please, because I don't understand that. I don't understand how everything is backwards. Vegas here, we are very known for that. Like, you don't want to give them full time because you want to pay benefits. I understand that, but you're paying somebody's benefits. You're paying the lazy ones benefits. There's new people that they start work. There's new people. There's new people that start work, and they already been there 1 week and they're already calling off sick. They call off. Why do they call off? What do you mean you're sick? You just started working. Oh, I have a cough. Oh, I have my toe hurted. Oh, I didn't have a babysitter. But that's what we have to figure life out. We need to, we need to figure out what we're gonna do. We need to figure, we need to fix our life. We need to figure out what we're gonna do. Like, I know I start work next week, so I need to figure out my babysitting stuff. I need to figure out my lunch, my food money, whatever, my ride money, my gas money, my Uber money, whatever is it. We need to figure things out, not the last minute. I hear all kinds of excuses from people that are lazy. I hear every excuse in the book, and I'm like, no, you're just lazy. That's it. That's the truth. They're just lazy, and the job, and your manager is eating a lot up, and your manager is making the wrong choices because your manager is giving the good employee less hours, and meanwhile he or she keeps hiring new people, new lazy people. More. It's like they have a banner out there and say, "Hey, we're hiring only lazy people. We're hiring only people that don't want to work. That's what we hire." I don't understand. And they complain about we don't have employees. Yeah, you do have employees, but you choose not to look what you have already in your workers that you have. You choose to not look at your surroundings, the loyal people that you have. You choose to ignore that by saying we don't have employees. You do have quality over quantity. With a good quality of employees, your business will come out with a good quantity of employees. It's not about the uh, it's not about the quality. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. If you have good employees that have good qualifications, that are willing, that are loyal, that are happy to work, your business will be successful. But when you have lazy employees that don't want to do nothing, and you keep hiring every week, there's new. Every week there's people getting fired. Every week because you keep hiring them. You keep allowing them to do what they want to do. You need to value you need to value your business more than that. You need to value you need to see who you hire. And you people that are getting hired that, expect to, you know, these people, a lot of people like drive through people that work at fast food. Don't get me wrong. I worked at fast food, so I'm gonna speak on it. I worked at fast food, but I worked my butt off. I worked my butt off, but they expect that I need to get paid this much money. But meanwhile, you forget to give me a napkin, you forget to give me my utensils, you forget to give me ketchup, you forget to give me everything. You get my order wrong. Because how many times don't we go to drive through? We go to drive through for a reason because we don't want to get off because of either we're tired, time limit, whatever the reason is. It's our reason. It doesn't matter. That's why drive through is invented. Drive through is for that, but you forget stuff. And another thing, I love it when they tell you, you want to, man, can you go ahead and park around the corner so we'll bring it out to you. And you tell them, okay, but please don't forget the ketchup and condiments. And that's the first thing they forget. So how do you want more an hour? Please, managers, please, managers, how do how do you think that your employees deserve that when they're forgetting that? They're forgetting something simple as a napkin. Yes, it's hard work. It's hard work. It's not easy, but it's not something that's out of this world. It's not something that, oh my God, it takes calculus and algebra and science. No, it doesn't. Ketchup, napkins. No, it doesn't. I work drive-through. I was a drive-through for almost a year while being a manager. I did drive-through. And guess what? When I didn't have people on drive-through, when I didn't have people coming in, I was helping the ladies back there because I like to be active, because I like to be useful. You know, all these employees that, oh, I need to get paid more because it's hard work. And then there's good employees that, I sometimes I go to the certain drive through, and there's always two employees at this place. And one time the girl was taking forever, and I'm wondering what's going on. Why is she taking forever, dude? It's just this order. And she comes back to the window. She says, "I'm so sorry it took long." She goes, "It's just me and another worker." And I'm like, "Oh, it's okay." I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for her. And she didn't forget nothing. She gave me everything I asked for. But meanwhile, she doesn't. She gets treated bad. Meanwhile, she does. They don't give her a raise. Meanwhile, the owner of that restaurant doesn't care. Doesn't value the good employees. You guys need to start valuing good employees. You need to value them. You need to be thankful for them. You need to start hiring more people, but not lazy people. You guys expect too much. You guys expect too much out of employee. Expect too much. One of the things that I don't agree with people expect, because I do it on my own business. Um, I asked them, "Have you ever worked this?" And I had one that said, "No, I never done this before." Okay, I'm gonna teach you. It's not so hard. They need to start somewhere. If no one gives them a chance, you're never gonna know if they're good workers or not. The fact that they never done drive through, they're never done cleaning, or they're never done does not mean they're not capable of. They never done it. That's the problem with these days, that they expect you to know. You need to have uh 10 years of cashier. You need to have a background of it. You know, no, you shouldn't be that picky. No, because obviously, if an employee comes to you, and that person already had 10 years of experience, why? How come they got fired? How come they lost the other job they were in? It because life happens, reasons happen. Sometimes we're too lazy to train them. We're too lazy to teach them. But they're good employees that are willing to learn. But you don't give them a chance because, oh, you know, this one has never done cashier, so no, no, you shouldn't be that way. You know, I remember when I used to work at a clinic, and I didn't have no clinic. I didn't have no medical background, and I didn't know nothing. I was new there. I started there as a receptionist. Tell me how long I lasted there as a receptionist. I lasted like a couple of weeks as a receptionist. Then someone from the back was out, and my boss threw me in the back. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. So they trained me right away. Like, okay, this is how you take blood pressure. This is how you height and weight and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, they just threw me back there. Just threw me back there. And I caught on to it right away. And then they started making me take some kind of courses because I needed some kind of hours to be back there. But they believed in me. They they didn't say, "Oh, you don't have no medical background, so no." Then they started taking lessons how to give shots, and then I was giving people shots, and I was dispensing medication. I was doing all that back there, and I never went to school for that. I didn't go to school for that. That was not on my list. But the boss that I had at that moment see how that I was willing, how eager I was to learn. And next thing you know, I used to come and ask her when I used to bring the patients back to the room. I was that person that brings you back to the room and takes your weight and lets ask you what you're here for and all that. I was that person. And then when I used to go back and give inform her, because that's how the way they do it, you go back there and the doctor's back there and you inform them, oh, this person is here for that. And she used to turn around and tell me, what do you think? I'm like, well, I think that because she's taking this and then she was like, okay, so what would you do? I said, I would do this and then she used to tell me, well, then why are you asking me? She used to tell me that. I'm like, because you're the boss. And she was like, but you know what you're saying. So go back and tell her what you just told me. Like they believe in me. Of course they make me to take courses. I needed to take some certain hours for me to work back there. But they believe in me. They left me alone because I was doing the right thing. Because she told me, I'm watching you. I'm hearing what you're saying. And all these girls back there had all kinds of degrees and everything. Thank God I got my diplomas and stuff like that. But they already came in with it. I earned it while I was there because someone believed in me. So maybe you start believing in those that you think they can do it. Maybe you start letting them allow them to talk and let them see where they're from, where they're coming from. Let them see what they think. I do that to my girls when I sit down and talk to them when I'm having lunch and I tell them, what do you think about what's next? What do we need to do? And they'll tell me, oh, oh, well, see, we didn't, I think we should clean that with that. Do it, do it. Thank you thank you for letting me know for that advice. We need to start focusing on good employees because we're giving shitty employees too much time, too much credit. Start noticing the people that are good. Start thanking them because they're running your business. Don't forget to listen to Red Blue on Wednesday. He's gonna have a surprise on Wednesday. And Yeah, we're gonna have a surprise. We're gonna talk also a little bit about the animals at Bakersfield that they still keep dumping them. That's something I want to talk about. I want to get into that because it's horrible what's happening out there in Bakersfield. They're dumping dogs every day. They're dumping dogs, and if rescuers and fosters will put more input into finding out who are these animals are dropping these innocent babies, we will be a better world. But they focus more on people that are willing to adopt and willing to foster. Let's focus more on these animals that are dropping them, these evil people. Take care of your animals, love them. It's so hot out there. Be respectful, people. And thank you so much for listening to me. Until next time, take care of each other. Bye.
Man, I'm alive. I'm alive. Singing amen. I am alive. If everyone cared and nobody cried, if everyone loved and nobody lied, if everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we see the day when nobody died, and I'm singing.